What's up, boys and girls? This is RB with the Compound Trading Group. In this video, I just want to look at SPY, see what's possible, see our options on what might happen next week. Once again, we never predict the market, we react to the market, but having a plan trading the market is always your best bet. So let's go get it. What's up, guys? Let's get SPY here. We are looking at the one-day chart. What we're just trying to figure out is a plan for upcoming price action. Like I said in the intro, we can never really, I don't like to predict what the market is going to do. What I like to do is make a plan and always joke around, or cover both sides. But I really do like to make a plan and see the potentials that could happen. So I have area of influences, right? And when price action comes to those areas, we watch price action and we build a plan for what does happen. So if a breakout does start to happen, we have a plan on how to trade it. We're not caught with our pants down. So if we look at SPY right here, what I like, this is the area that I'm kind of watching in SPY. We have a range market right now on the daily chart. We from here to here. And, we made a push down, set a low range, and we've been working with inside the range back to the top of the range. So this area of support right here that we failed off of in here, we created this support, we pushed down, and now we're pushing back into it. This is the area that I've been watching for a while now. So if we take it here, I knew when we got to this area that we would have a battle going on between bulls and bears, and we really don't know who's going to win this battle. Now there are some signs that make me lean one way or the other, but that leaning one way or the other isn't important at the end of the day. At the end of the day, what is important is that you have a plan on how to trade it, and you act when that happens without hesitation. And so if I'm expecting one way to happen and it doesn't happen, it's going to make me hesitate when the other thing happens. So what I like to do is just have a plan on both sides. So what we do know with SPY is right now we've been working higher lows, higher highs on a micro trend. When I say micro, the daily I have within a range. But if we come down to the 4 hour, 1 hour, see how we put in a change of character right here back to the upside. So the 4 hour chart has been working an upside trend. So if we just look at this, it's easy to see we have a trend going, right? We've had an uptrend going on a 4 hour chart, and we've been pushing higher lows, higher highs. So right here would have been a high. Here's your low. You come down, you retest the low on a double bottom, and then you break the high and you make a low because that high was broken, and we've just been pushing up, and we've got back to this area of influence right here and kind of have stalled out. And so now the question is what can happen? So if we just look at the daily, go back to the daily chart and see what has happened. We are sitting in this uptrend. So if I was to come here and draw the trend, I like to use the line chart drawing trends. That gets me to a closer price action. As you can see, we had 3 touches right here on this right here, and so now we have this right here going on. Right, here's our 3 touches, and it's kind of a ascending wedge. Not saying we're going to break down from the ascending wedge. It's very possible that this pattern could play out and we break down from the ascending wedge, but this is our current trend. We now have a channel that we're bouncing in between. We did just break upwards from this trend right here. As you can see, we came down, we broke, we retest, and we've been working up. So these are kind of what the market's been doing right now. We set the range, and we've been working back up to the top to test the top. Now the question is, when we got up here, that I've always been kind of looking at price action and wondering is, when we get to the top, do we fill the top for a double top and work back down, or do we break out and then this area becomes support? So looking in the market, I always like to draw my possibilities. One possibility is we came here, we come back up here, and we work back down, right? Kind of stay in the range. Second possibility is we come here, here, we could get to here, we could have a small pullback and then break the range. Or we use this as support and just bounce right off of it to make a range. And if these things do happen, so if we do break the top, and it's not just a liquidity kind of grab and breaking the top, as we can show you probably here in another spot. Let's see, right here we had a little sending triangle going on that broke down. We had another one right here that broke down. Like you can get liquidity grabs. So as long as we see price action break through this high and this becomes support, you want to see this become support to work back up. I do believe we see the 430 range. I see we start taking out targets. If I come back and just turn my anchor VWAPs on that I've had, anchors. So if we look at these anchors, these are my next price target lines that as you can see, the sellers were in control. And then these pivots right here, this last pivot here, this last pivot here have been tested and have gone under water. So buyers are in control right now from these two pivot zones. The sellers were outweighed. Our anchor VWAP, as we can see, the buyers have pushed above it, and now we're testing higher pivot VWAPs. So this pivot right here is our last high that we had that made the big push down. And so this is a very important, as you can see, we have broken it and we went back under, right? And then we broke it and now we kind of came down, and now this has kind of become support. As you can see, we opened and closed and now we're above it. So that could be a small bullish sign here in the short term. But what we'd want to see is this 410 level right here. I think it's 410.70s. We want to see this level hold and this level become that support that anchors it. And then, our next stop is this 419.65. And if we can get past that, which we'll probably have VPVR, some volume in there. As you can see, we got a wick candle right here. There's some liquidity sitting in this area. We could get up here to 424s and then, 426. And for me, if this happens, I have a break of range, and this would be a change of character. Now, the question after the change of character on the daily to start an uptrend would be, do we make a high, pull back, break that high, and have a break of structure? So if that were to happen, this is kind of what it would look like. We'd push up, we'd come down, which we just did, right? We go up, break a high, pull back down, probably use this as support, go up, break a structure. Like right here would be a structure break, and this would signify that the daily chart is now in confluence with the 4 hour, the 2 hour, and we're in an uptrend, right? When I have just a change of character on a daily chart, so say like right here, like this was just a change of character, no break of structure yet. To me, that signifies a pullback on a larger time frame. So if like we went to the weekly and looked at what is happening, you could see that we would get a change of character on a weekly chart, or a monthly chart, a change of character on a monthly chart. Now, if we do get the change of character with the break of structure on a daily, I see this as a pullback being finished. Like, because if we do just look at the monthly chart, like right now, this is a healthy pullback on a monthly chart. Here's your round, we go back up, and I could see this pushing new highs on SPY if we get a change of character and break of structure on the daily. And just like I just said, for that to happen, this is kind of what we're looking at. We're looking at pulling down, going up, breaking this top here. That would be a change of character out of range on a daily into pull back and then break that structure high wherever that pivot lands. We don't know where it could land right here. It can land up here. It could land up here. It could land all the way up here. But wherever that is, get that break of structure. And once we get that break of structure, that's a good sign that we could be going back for highs on SPY. Doesn't have to happen. As y'all know, nothing is guaranteed in the market. But a possibility, right? So we want to have a plan for that if these things happen. Now, if we look at the bearish side, there are a few signals here that kind of lean bearish. If we turn volume back on, as we can see, we've been pulling up. We have been decreasing in volume. That's never really that great of a sign. It's not too big of a decrease, but as you can see, we are losing volume. With the macroeconomics going on, inflation, there is a big possibility that we fell the top here and work back down. For everyone's 401ks, we hope that isn't the case, but for those that trade downside, you know, it's good to have that plan. So if we do look at what's happening, we just fell at the top right here on this ascending wedge, we push down. Do we push up into this area again if it's the range high top, or if it's liquidity sweep on range high top to 419s and then work down and fill that? If that is the case, what you'd want to see is this, you know, perfect structure would have range top hold, not break range top, and just work our way up, back down. You could see a liquidity sweep. There is liquidity right in here. And so you could see them come back after that liquidity and sweep it. You know, we still have, so if we just look at our gaps that we do have, you know, we have a fair value gap right there. And we have one kind of sitting in here. We're in it a little bit right now, but you know, there is liquidity sitting basically right here. So we go up, we could push this anchor VWAP and liquidity sweep the top to fail, because there is a lot of buy side stops on buy side liquidity. And so you could see them sweep that liquidity and then fail it. So what you'd want to see if we do get this push is confirmation, right? We want this to become support. We want to rally up, base rally, instead of just buying right into the break. We don't want to be a breakout trader that buys to fail, right? So as we know in the compound, we don't do a lot of long-term trading. So the daily chart isn't as important, but I do like to have an understanding with SPY. So if we do see this fail and we work back down, there's a very good chance we come back and start seeing some of this liquidity in the lows. So like in here, you know, anchor VWAPs, you can start seeing these anchor VWAPs take place, and then we want to see how price reactions after this fail. Do we find support in these liquidity areas? If we come back and anchor this low, and we come back and just anchor our lows, so we know, okay, these buyers, do they support? Do these buyers step back in to support this move? So like if we fail here, do we get a bounce with these buyers to start working SPY back up, or the CPI inflation numbers come in and we work back down? So guys, I hope you took something out of that. I know I never like to put price targets on SPY. I think they're silly, especially in a long term on a daily chart. Like, I think you're setting yourself with an expectation of something to happen, and when it goes backwards from what your expectation, you have hesitation. And so for me, it's better to just have multiple plans of what could happen with SPY and see how price reacts and just trade what's happening. Like on a 30-minute chart, you know, have your plan of action of what happens when you get into a channel and how to trade it. So guys, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me in Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, we are the Compound Trading Group. A link is in the description of this video. I hope you like this video and enjoy your weekend.